forget it. And the moderator, and I will actually be addressing the questions along with other mentors potentially. And we would like to just say a big thank you for joining us this afternoon. And I'd like to introduce our speaker who will be your mentor, and that is Janina Custodio. Give a wave, Janina. She has actually
Hey.
mentored a lot of groups before, and has is well loved for her information tidbits. I really love it because if I need an expert in nature and science, I go to Janina, and she will be leading this batch, your 30-day garbage garden challenge. And so let's give a formal welcome to her. Welcome, Janina.
Hello, thank you. Thank you for that introduction. Okay, so first, welcome. Thank you for joining, and I'd like to share my screen. So there. Welcome to the 30-day garbage to garden challenge kickoff, and here are the agenda for today. So first is the introduction, the five W's. Of course, if we're starting to learn something new, we want to learn the five W's, right? The who, the what, the where, the when, and the why, and the how. So that's the body of the discussion for today, no? So I'd like to introduce Ma'am Lanie. She is the founder of Bokashi Pinoy.
All right. Good afternoon. Thank you, Janina. And good afternoon, everyone. And just like what Janina said earlier, I think first and foremost, we would like to thank you for choosing to journey with us. And I know that when you join Bokashi Pinoy, you already have a reason. You already have a reason why you are joining us. And all you need to know right now is how this is structured and how to join the team. So before we even go to the details, no, I just would like to introduce to you who is Bokashi Pinoy, because I think as a social enterprise, it's important for everyone to know that we are actually composed of very passionate and dedicated and like-minded volunteers, meaning they actually have shared the vision of Bokashi Pinoy and made it their own. So that's me. The first picture on the left, top left-hand side is me, and then that's Ma'am Shininfa. She's one of the pioneer mentors. So is Roy. Roy is actually with us today as well. So two of them are the pioneer mentors who have joined Bokashi Pinoy as volunteers, and then followed by Janina and Tammy and May, who joined us during the pandemic actually, and they came in very strong and helped us to reach a certain level of maturity in terms of developing the content. Ayan. So the next slide would be about what we have actually done, in the past few months. So Bokashi Pinoy has actually found ways to adapt the Bokashi method in the Philippines. I think most of you know that Bokashi actually came from Japan and something that was made popular in the US and some Western countries, but we have found a way to adapt it to our lifestyle and our culture because plus our weather. So it's a bit different. So we are the first in terms of creating a program uh, that not only adapts to the Philippine climate, culture, and weather, but also teaches practitioners on the best practices on how to go about doing bokashi. We are also the first to create a community of practitioners. So most of you guys have joined us today. You will be part of that community as well. And then we are also the first to connect donors and supporters, meaning there are several practitioners who do not have a space in their household. They do not have a space to bury their compost, but they still wanted to do something for the environment. So we connect them to hosts or soil makers or compost makers so that they could donate their uh, pre-compost and make something out of it. No, and then the other first that we have done is to actually create extra source of livelihood for farmers in Nueva Ecija. And of course, in terms of efforts, no, we are currently gathering the numbers, no, of our impact to the environment. When we say impact, it's more of the positive impact, how we are diverting food waste away from the landfill, and indirectly how we are also diverting non-biodegradable waste. Because if you segregate your biodegradable waste, indirectly you are also segregating your plastic waste. So soon we're going to publish a a study on how we have impacted positively the environment in terms of diverting food waste away from the landfill. And of course, we have also changed or impacted the lives of several household owners by helping them to go through the pandemic, and especially when these mentors and dedicated volunteers join us, we were able to help them start a garden, an edible garden at that. And of course, this is why, and this is the reason why we have actually created Bokashi Pinoy, is to create this extra source of livelihood for landless farmers in Nueva Ecija. And we intend to continue to do that and increase our capacity to help these landless farmers improve their lives. Since anyway, our lives also depend on them because they are the ones who create our food, right? They are the ones who um, nurture the land in order to grow rice for us. Okay, there you go. That's Bokashi Pinoy. So back to Janina.
Thank you for that, Ma'am Lani. So, okay. Yan. Wait, ayan. So, thank you for that, Ma'am Lani. Maraming salamat. So, what is Bokashi? So, ano ba yung Bokashi? So, ito kasi, tulad nung sinabi ni Ma'am Lani, no, Bokashi is fermented organic matter na it actually originated in Japan or developed in Japan. So, yun, in-acquire natin, in-adopt natin sa climate natin, sa culture din natin. So, Bokashi composting was developed in Japan in response to the need for a method that was best fit for small spaces. There. Okay, so yung iba po sa atin no nakasubok na ng traditional composting. Yung iba rin naman hindi pa. So you are also welcome here. Just for comparison, no, traditional composting is the decomposition of organic matter. The risk is sometimes, no, there is unbalanced rate of decomposition. So, because of that, nagkakaroon ng ng undesirable output. So, that's foul odor, minsan may mga pests and scavengers, and random bacterial growth that may breed pathogens. Yun. So if we do bokashi composting, it is also actually no bokashi composting. You have to parang we're fermenting the food waste first. Yun. Uh, it is the chemical breakdown via controlled acidification with beneficial microorganisms. So yun yung definition for fermentation. No? Ano niya, magiging effects niya, sour smell, repels pests like cockroaches, rodents, and scavengers, and also supports fungi or white mold growth. It's also applicable to small spaces. There. So the next one is the why. Why are we doing this? So the circle of life, no? So just a background, no? Linear economy. This is actually uh in a way it's wasteful kasi you get the raw materials and in the end you have non-recyclable waste. So this is our goal, to have a circular economy where we get the raw materials and then all of the waste will be used for production. All of the waste will be used for recycling. There. So yung food waste natin, we get to use it. We get to use it eventually for fertilizing the garden. Okay, so fact is nature employs a circular economy by default. The circle of life, aligning with nature's processes, leads to sustainability. Okay, so how do we bokashi? So bokashi has 5 stages. So the first one is where we segregate the waste and add bokashi epa. So this is the reason why we put them in tubs first, no? We segregate the biodegradables. So for the first week, we will use raw fruits and veggies, and then uh, as the program goes through second week and third week and fourth week, we'll also teach other food items to bokashi there because they require different amounts of bokashi epa, and also additional and other food waste will require additional um, methods there. Okay. So stage 2 is where we transfer the bokashi kitchen waste from the tubs to the bucket. So the small containers, we call them as tubs. And then the bucket is the bucket. Okay? So sometimes other participants get confused kasi. So that's why I am reiterating that the tubs are the small ones and the buckets are the large one. Okay. So stage 2 is the time that we fermented for 2 weeks, minimum of 2 weeks. And then stage 3 is where we uh, bury the Bokashi kitchen waste for also a minimum of 2 weeks. And stage 4 is when we harvest the Bokashi compost. Stage 5 is when we harvest the food that was grown in soil and Bokashi compost. There. So those are the 5 stages. But for the 30 days, we will focus on stage 1 to 3. Okay, so when? So this is our schedule for the whole 30 days. So for the first week, I'll be teaching how to do the basics. And then the second week, that's when we will seal the first Bokashi bucket. And then November 7, that's stage 3. That's when we will bury the Bokashi kitchen waste. And then November 15 is closing the loop. There. So where? So for those who are already in the group chat, I have already given instructions on where to place your Bokashi bucket and your tubs, right? So designate a Bokashi area in your household, preferably a cool, dry location away from sunlight, rain, and water. There. So here are the samples. Like this one is indoors, and in this one, the one in the outdoors, you need to provide shade. Here are the collection tubs. These are plastic, opaque, and food grade with lids. So we don't allow containers that have broken lids because bokashi is actually anaerobic fermentation. So we don't want oxygen entering the tubs. So we recommend ice cream containers, biscuit containers that are at least half gallon sized or bigger. Um, Around 5 to 6 are okay amount of tubs. Okay, so collect paper waste and cardboard. So we have to exclude glossy and thermal material because they decompose longer. There. So we have to remove tapes and staples because they also do not decompose. There. So expectation setting. Okay, so I'll be providing daily lessons and instructions, reading material, and then I'll be answering questions. The time for this batch is 4 p.m. But you know, we can adjust that if majority of the participants will prefer a different time. So right now, uh, 4 p.m. is the current schedule for the batch, and there for Zoom meetings that will be scheduled. So that's not daily. Yung daily po, yun yung instructional materials na binibigay ko. Isa-send ko sa group chat. Yung Zoom meetings that will be scheduled weekly. Yan. Challengers. Okay, so follow guidance via daily instructions, answer polls, join learning sessions via Zoom, share experiences, document with photos. Very important. That's very important. And complete the assessment. Okay, so closing the loop. Who? So that's you, that's us. And what? To continue the advocacy. Why? Because you've been Bokashified. Where in your community and when? Hopefully soon. Or now. Okay, so save the environment one bucket at a time, Ma'am Lani.
So, later on, bago tayo mag-Q&A, I think it's good for us to take some pictures muna, and then I'll talk about saving the environment one bucket at a time as well. So,
Sige
pwede
po.
po ba tayo magpakita sa video just for a picture? Pero, sino
I'll
pala
stop, I'll stop screen share muna.
Mm-mm.
Yan.
Ayan. Sino magte-take pala ng picture?
Sige po, ako po.
Ayan. Oh. Tingin sa camera at mag-count.
1, 2, 3. Okay, isa pa po. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Ayan. So it's
Wait,
good.
wait lang po ma'am. Gusto ko
Sige,
lang
sige.
po i-introduce si Miss Estela.
Ay,
Hello po, Miss
nandiyan pala si
Estela. Miss
Stella.
Estela, thank you for coming. Ano po, siya po yung aking co-mentor for this batch. So, aside from me, siya po yung pwede ring sumagot sa batch 24.
Our new
Opo.
mentor.
Opo, a new mentor po
Yes.
siya.
Yeah,
Thank you,
7.
Miss Estela.
Ayan. So balik tayo saving the environment one bucket at a time. Balik po tayo doon. So guys, one of the kasi nabanggit ko sa inyo kanina na we have a team of volunteers. And actually you can just buy a Bokashi bucket anywhere. But what makes us different? Ano ba ang pagkakaiba sa Bokashi Pinoy? Buying a Bokashi bucket, it's possible that you will buy out of interest, out of curiosity, and then you will actually just forget. Or maybe you will start first for the first few days, excited kayo, gagawin nyo. But the reality is, doing Bokashi requires developing a habit because you've got to do it every day. In order for you to do something for the environment, one bucket at a time, certain habits needs to be developed, no? So, and one of those habits is the habit of segregating your food waste in tubs. And that's also how we differentiate ourselves. I think most of the Bokashi sellers, they would just say, just put everything in your bucket. But that's not best practice. When we say best practice po, these are the practices na makakasigurado ka na that your Bokashi will be successful. Because if your Bokashi is not successful, there are chances na madedemotivate kayo. And at the same time, yung mga kasama nyo sa bahay, hindi rin magiging masaya. Kasi hindi po kaaya-aya ang amoy pag hindi successful ang inyong Bokashi. Pero wag po kayong mag-worry kung hindi successful ang first attempt niyo sa Bokashi. The only remedy is to add more Bokashi ipa. Dagdagan nyo lang ng Bokashi ipa. Pero ayaw din naman namin kayong magastusan because if you keep adding Bokashi ipa to troubleshoot a bad Bokashi batch, magastos. Tapos ganun din, hindi nyo rin itutuloy yung practice. So that's the reason why we decided as a team to form a community of mentors in order to teach you these best practices. So kung nag-join po kayo sa meeting na ito, some of you probably have joined the 30-day challenge already. Part na kayo ng group chat. So thank you for all of you who is already part of the group chat because you're already showing commitment for us to teach you. Kasi it's hard to teach if kung iba-iba kayo ng pace, kung iba-ibang start date, iba-iba kayo ng methods, mahirap magturo ng best practices. But since you joined the batch, you joined the 30-day challenge, it's easier for us to teach our best practices. And we say best practices is because it's years of experience of doing it again and again. And then we refine it some more. Nag-uusap-usap pa kami kung paano pinakamadali, pinakamura, pinaka-practical, pinaka-effective. So yun yung pong ituturo namin during the 30 days. So kung hindi pa po kayo part ng 30-day challenge at wala pa kayo sa group chat, please engage or reach out to whoever sold the buckets to you. Kung it's me, you can reach out through the Lazada PM or Shopee or directly to Tammy or to Ninfa or to Janina. So most of the mentors here actually reselling the buckets as well because that's the only way I could repay them. They are not paid po. They are not salaried employees of Bokashi Pinoy. They are doing this out of the heart and passion for the environment. So all we ask of you at this point in time is to participate po. Participate kayo dun sa challenge and then follow the instructions, the daily instructions and have fun. Most of all, have fun. Huwag po masyado ma-stress. We will make it fun and engaging for everyone as well. So that's how we save the environment. One bucket at a time, one person at a time. Hopefully one community at a time because Tammy here and some of our advocates are also encouraging their communities to do Bokashi collectively. Ayan. Kung may tanong po kayo, start na po kayo magtanong ngayon. Pwede kayong magtanong through the chat. Kung nasa Zoom po kayo, merong chat. Mag-type niyo po yung questions niyo. Or pwede niyo ring i-unmute yung sarili niyo so you can ask verbally. Kung nasa YouTube po kayo, you can also ask through the comment section.
So, wait lang po, gusto ko lang pong ulitin na for today, designate lang po kayo ng Bokashi area ninyo. I need pictures of that para makita ko rin po kung ma-assess ko siya kung kailangan ba ng shade, kailangan ba ng ipasok sa bahay, kailangan ba, kung ano yung kailangan gawin. Okay, aside from that, relax muna po kayo. Start natin is Saturday for processing the waste for Bokashi. Not now. For now, ang focus po natin is yun nga, yung collection of tubs, collection of paper waste, and yung pag-designate ng Bokashi area. Yun lang po muna yung hiling ko sa inyo ngayon. Yan. Thank you. So, ayun na po. We're welcoming questions na po ngayon.
Okay, hello. Yes. From the chat room of live, how many tubs do we need?
Half-gallon tubs, tapos around 5 to 6 pieces po pwede.
Okay, so eto, sunod-sunod na yung message, no? This is from the YouTube live. Let's see. Sige, priority muna natin yung ano. So, same question. Saan po pwedeng mag-buy ng IPA? This pareho ng question na nasa YouTube, so we can answer this.
Okay, so for clarification again, hindi po, iba po yung Bokashi IPA sa pangkaraniwang IPA, okay? For Bokashi IPA, you can message any reseller or kay Ma'am Lanie po. Yan.
Okay, so some of the questions are included in the process, no, yung 30-day challenge natin, so I will not be reading them out loud. But the one is, what are the water / cardboards for?
Water. Cardboard. Okay, so yung paper waste and cardboard waste, that's for collection, no? Kasi po we use the papers for stage 1 and stage 2 and stage 3. So, iba-ibang levels po yung uses nila. So, eventually, during the 30 days, we'll teach you how to use them properly. Hindi yung excessive, hindi yung sa paper waste.
Okay, so same question, another question from the YouTube. Again, so since we need to fill the tubs for the week, do we need to put the tubs in the fridge? Yan. Sige, ito wala.
May Bokashi pa, the question is, may Bokashi IPA na po ba siya or wala pa? Kung wala pa, yes, paki-ref na po muna. Kung meron na po, no need to put it in the ref. Hindi po siya required na i-ref. Pwede po siya sa room temperature as long as ano siya, shaded area, hindi naarawan, hindi naiinitan. Yun po.
Okay, good. So last question, number 6. I think I can will answer this na lang simultaneous. I'm only starting with Bokashi. What do you recommend for me to buy? Okay, GGC bundle. This doesn't have the IPA. This doesn't have the IPA and the Easy Box though. And what are the molasses for? So, yan, Janina.
Okay. So, if you're starting, maganda talaga yung yung bundle na may molasses and Bokashi pa na 6 liters. Kasi after the first week, we're going to seal that first bucket so that it will be fermented. So, hindi po siya magagamit during the 2 weeks. So, kung gusto nyo pong ituloy yung pagbokashi, you really have to have another bucket. Yun. So, yun po, yung bundle po talaga yung yung recommended namin for the 30-day garbage to garden challenge. And then, yung sa Easy Box, that's for stage 3. We just recommend that for those who don't have a backyard space for digging a trench or a place to create a raised bed. Yun po.
Maybe this is the last question for the YouTube. Okay, Baguio shipping, Miss Lanie. Do we ship to Baguio? Okay.
Paano
Sige,
po, Ma'am Lanie?
Ma'am Lan.
Sorry, na-mute ako. Yes, we do. Via Lazada and Shopee. And I heard meron na ring parang bagahe package ang 5-star, but I do not know how it works. Mas sigurado po ang Lazada and Shopee.
I know the Victory Liners are open now.
Mm-mm.
Sige, ano lang natin to, reach out na lang natin siguro. Okay, let's read now from the Zoom chat room. Okay, I gathered the one I gathered that one needs molasses if you have cabbage.
Yes. Yes, because cabbage, garlic, onion, lahat po ng plants or food ingredients that are in that same family, garbage, garlic, onion, they contain sulfur. So, yun po yung reason kung bakit we add molasses.
Okay. Lastly from Miss Oh wait lang. Okay. Since I've started, okay, sige. I think I've already started collecting food waste yesterday since we're starting on 17 pa. What can I do with the waste? Ayan, nasagot na. Ulitin na lang Miss G.
Okay. So,
Nag-collect na
okay.
siya.
Nag-collect na siya. Okay,
So
so yes, paki-ref na lang po muna for the meantime. Yun,
okay.
para maging ready na siya for Saturday. Okay, so to join the 30-day garbage to garden challenge, please message Ma'am Lanie or the Bokashi Pinoy Facebook page and donate at least 100 pesos to the mentor fund. Yes, and the mentor fund is actually, well, it's actually, sorry.
Advocacy Fund.
It's an advocacy fund.
Advocacy fund.
Okay. Okay, sorry. So the
Si ate.
advocacy fund is for the so that we can build on the visions of Bokashi Pinoy. Kasi there are things that we have goals. Sorry. Okay. So we have goals, and that one of them is to build up composting sites so that uh composting will be available to everyone there.
Yeah, basically, guys, we want to acquire certain tools and maybe even sites, in order for us to host stage 3 ready pre-compost, because I know some of you no live in condos or townhouses, wala namang paglilibingan ng compost. So we thought we will be creating satellite sites where you can donate your waste. And for that to be successful, we need certain tools po like shredders. Minsan yung barangay actually lends shredders, but not all barangay do that. We need certain mga boxes po where we can host all of those pre-compost and hopefully to create jobs out of it. So, that's one of our vision that one of these days we can sell, tawag namin ngayon Compashi, pero nag-ano pa kami, nag-argue pa kami kung anong tawag doon. Basta Bokashi compost. So that we can create jobs out of it, whether it's in the farm, mga rural farms, or city folks, because I know a lot of people are displaced because of the pandemic. So we're hoping to create jobs out of that. Kaya ang tawag namin circular economy. So, at tanong ni Che, how or where do we send our mentors fee? We have a joint GCash account po, so we can, maybe if May is on the call pa, maybe she can share the GCash account where you can post your donations for the advocacy fund, or maybe just transfer to your authorized resellers, and then they can just transfer it back to our main accounts.
Okay, thank you. Do we still have more questions? Meron
Yes
pa
po.
po ba?
Correction po, no, hindi po siya mentors fee. Ano po?
Advocacy
It's
It's an
fund.
advocacy
advocacy.
fee, and it's only 100.
Got it,
Okay.
got it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you po. Then another question, pwede pong manghingi ng list kung ano lang yung mga materials na pwede isama sa compost.
Okay, sige po, for the first Bokashi bucket, I'll send the list on Saturday. Okay, sige, I'll send the list later. Para ano, para just in case may nangongolekta na naglalagay na sa ref, sige, I'll send it later.
Basta po, pag beginner kayo, and whether you are in the challenge or not, please lang, kung beginner po kayo, start muna sa raw veggies and fruits. Pwede rin, ang tawag doon, coffee grounds, tea, yung gamit na tea, but remove the bags. Huwag nyo po lalagyan ng balat ng itlog. So yun lang muna kung beginner. But moving forward, you can also compost or bokashi, leftover cooked food, pati kanin, meat, fish. Pero yun na lang pakiusap namin na at least on the first week, raw veggies and fruits lang muna. Let's take it one day at a time to learn how it smells, how it looks, ano pa ba yung texture, ganyan. We will be using all of our five senses on the first week for you to learn how a good bokashi smells and looks, pati texture. Kaya makulit po kaming maghihingi sa inyo ng mga pictures para makita rin namin.
Okay, add ko lang po dun sa ano, sorry guys, kailangan ngayon ko lang napansin eh. Add ko lang for those coffee lovers na meron po silang 1 pouch coffee, yung nauuso po ngayon na pang isa. Actually, may nagbigay po sa akin. Meron ba tayo? Okay. Yun, meron ako dito. So, sa example na lang po. Okay. So, most of the tea bags are plastics. No, may plastic content po sila na hindi nadudurog. Same with this one. So, ito po yung sinasabi ko. Yan. Ito yung one cup na coffee.
Single use na
Single use, okay. So discard nyo po yung nasa loob, pwede nyo po isama sa bokashi. The rest, please wag nyo po muna isama kasi I'm still testing this. So far, it's not non-compostable at hindi pa rin po kinakain ng aking mga alaga. Okay. So most probably it's not compostable as well. Drip bags. Yeah, yung mga drip bags pong available sa yung sinasama po natin na filters, it's okay. I already tested it and it is being eaten by worms and it can be composted as well. Okay. Sino pa po? Okay, tuloy ko yung pagbabasa. How much molasses with cabbage and garlic waste?
Okay, so for that, around a teaspoon lang po pwede na po for 1 tub, no?
Yes, drizzle lang, drizzle.
Drizzle lang po.
Next question. Pwede po ba na ang bokashi juice stay on the container kung hindi pa gagamitin?
Every 3 days po ang pag-collect ng bokashi juice. Bokashi leachate.
Okay, next. I already have collected 3 containers, not opaque. I started in the ref. It is still usable?
Yes, it's still usable. Pero, okay, I've already collected 3 containers,
Yan.
not opaque. Okay. Okay. Depende po. I will need pictures. Baka po kasi meron na siyang mold formation. Kasi yung ref, it just slows decomposition. Hindi siya talaga foolproof na parang pag nilagay ko sa ref, hindi yan mabubulok. Diba? Minsan, pag bukas mo ng ulam, parang, ay, hindi na to pwede. So, ibig sabihin, may mga nasira pa rin na food items sa loob ng ref. So, yun po. I will need to see pictures of that. Baka po kasi meron na siyang mold growth. And also yung molds po kasi it will compete with the bokashi microorganisms. Yun. So yun kasi yung bokashi microorganisms natin, inoculated siya with good microorganisms.
Okay, I think nasagot na yung last question. Okay.
Sige po. Meron pa pong question sa Zoom or sa YouTube?
I'll check YouTube again.
Sige po. Thank you.
There's a lot of excited people.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank
from
you.
Ma'am Susan of YouTube, available na ba sa Pasig ang Easy Box and Soil? Thanks. Need to order na kasi.
Hindi pa po siya available today.
Okay, how
hopefully
to join
within the week. Sorry,
Okay,
go.
good. Sige, sige, good.
Send ko po
So,
yung
yun na.
link ng Bokashi Pinoy movement for those who wants to send pictures. Send ko yung link.
Lastly, another question. How can I join the October 31st challenge? We'll order the GGC via Shopee. Will you have other challenges in November?
Yes po. Every 2 weeks po, we start a challenge. Every 2 weeks.
I hope you don't mind. I'd like to just add something because
Mm-mm.
there's a lot of people chatting and in the group chat, and I think we still have a lot of time, right? It's only 4:38, so feel free to ask the questions out loud because then it's easier to address it rather than typing it out in the chat. And then Janina can answer you, and all the other mentors are here to address your questions. Tas mas malilinawan pa kayo kasi medyo there's some people I think who have done some of their homework already, so their questions are a little advanced. Better if we are able to address it by talking to you.
Okay, good idea po.
Volunteer, please. First come, first serve. Mr. Terrio.
Hello?
Well,
Hello?
please.
Ma'am,
Ayan. Hello po.
nag-start na kasi ako dun sa Bokashi, parang 1 week na, kaya tinatanong ko yung juice kasi hindi ko siya kinukuha yung Bokashi juice.
Okay.
Pero nag-try lang ako today, I think more than a week na yung juice ko kasi, pero wala naman siya parang isa smell of pineapple juice kasi
Oh,
it's
wow.
more on fruits and vegetables.
Nakakain-
Kaya wala siyang foul smell.
Tapos may ano po kayo? May pinya kayong nilagay?
Wala. Actually, kasi nagjo-juice kami ng mga vegetables. Tapos yung mga ano to, kamote leaves, yun yung mga nilalagay ko doon kasi marami siyang stem. Tapos pipino, carrots, tapos yung amoy nga ng juice niya, parang it's a pineapple. Akala ko nga ano siya, mabaho kanina kasi more than a week na. Kaya ako tinatanong baka hindi na siya effective kapag ginamit ko sa plants.
That's not.
It's still effective. Kapag ganun po siya kabango, it's still very effective po. Opo.
Okay. Saka ano lang, medyo, kasi nag-order ako ng Bokashi kit new Kaya lang baka tomorrow pa dumating. Kasi napanood ko siya sa YouTube na hindi siya pwedeng samahan ng meat, fish sa first timer. Pero kasi yung first time ko, yung ginawa ko, sinama ko yung mga rice, pero wala siyang meat. Ay, kaya gusto ko malaman kung anong effect nun. Kasi yung
Ano pong amoy? Nung nilagay niyo po ng kanin, anong pong amoy? Anong naamoy niyo ba? Kasi
Wala po, kasi kaunti lang yung kanin namin, hindi kami more
that's fine.
rice konti lang siya. Kaya yung juice niya parang pineapple juice yung amoy
Okay lang po yun. Okay lang po kung ganun. Baka mas marami pa rin naman kasi yung fruits and veggies nyo. So,
Ay, oo. Mas marami kaunti ang kanin. Sobrang
Opo.
dami kami pag more sa vegetables. Kaya ako gusto kasing intanong. Tapos ma'am, kasi major late ako, hindi ako naka-join. Yung paper, kailan po sinasama yung mga paper? Kasi marami ako dito mga paper Hindi ko lang alam kasi syempre printed yun with ink. Hindi ba siya masama for the Bokashi compose?
It's okay po to use the paper. Most of our ink now are starch based.
Okay. Kahit
Okay.
yung, okay. Kasi iniisip ko marami ako dito mga bond paper na ang daming print out Na gusto kong gamitin instead na itapon ko lang. Pwede
Okay
pala
po
siya.
yun.
Ma'am, kailan ko po yun pwedeng ihalo?
Miss Janina.
Matututunan niyo po.
Okay. Ma'am, kasi late ako naka-join kaya hindi ko alam yung challenge
Okay.
niyo for 17, October 17.
pero usually po yung papel, no, just in general rule, ginagawa namin siyang pang lining ng tubs at saka ng balde. So lahat ng tubs nyo dapat may lining ng papel at may cover na papel.
Okay.
Pati rin po yung bucket, bago siya nilalagyan ng laman, nilalagyan po namin siya ng papel sa ilalim para hindi siya mag-block dun sa drainage hose tsaka dun sa faucet.
I see. Okay. Good. Okay, thank you. Ay, ma'am, may one more question pa ako. Meron kasi ako napanood sa YouTube. Ginagamit nila for laundry, yung Bokashi juice.
Hindi po
din ba
Bokashi juice.
yun?
Liquid booster po. Hindi po Bokashi leachate yung nilalagay sa laundry. Kasi yung Bokashi
Okay.
leachate, opo, hindi po Bokashi juice or Bokashi leachate, but yung liquid booster na tinatawag namin.
Meron po nun. Iba yon.
Opo, iba po yun. It's really a product. Kasi itong Bokashi leachate is a byproduct of your fermentation. Yung liquid booster is really para siyang mother solution. Ganun.
Okay. Iba yun sa IMAS?
It's the same po. Same character, oo. Same.
Yung IMAS na yun yung pwedeng gamitin sa laundry tsaka yun sa cleaning ng mga floors?
Yes po, yes po.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Add ko na lang.
Can I add? So far, you have the first week challenge for the RBF, which is the raw vegetables and fruits. Can you please stop adding first the rice or an leftover cooked food in your bucket? Okay na yung nag-add ka ng rice before, a small amount of rice. But as of now, please stop adding any cooked food in your bucket, please.
For the first week lang naman po.
Yes. Okay. And then afterwards, once you seal the bucket, you will be taught by Janina to add leftover cooked food on the second week. So, patience muna po ang hinihingi namin sa inyo so that you will learn thoroughly the standards of composting doing the Bokashi. Okay. Questions, please. Janina is ready to.
Si Miss Lloyda actually is referred by one of my long-term customers, si Ma'am Vicky. She's one of the first few customers sa Bokashi Pinoy. Ayan. May tanong po kayo, Miss Ma'am Loy?
Hello po, pa-unmute na lang po.
I'll just wait for
The day one.
Saturday.
Sige po.
Anyway, I suppose you'll teach step by step the procedure.
po.
No? I'll just wait for that, and then probably I'll have my questions by then.
Okay po. Sure. Si Mr. Thank you, Miss Loy, for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Sir Phoebus Jr. Gandang hapon po.
Yes, ma'am. Magandang hapon po. Ako po yung nagtanong ng three tabs. Ipinasok ko po sa rep, pero yung tabs ko po hindi opaque. Yung laman po ng tabs ko, banana peels, papaya, may mga coffee ground, walang rice, walang fish, fruits and vegetables lang po.
Wala pa pong mold, wala pa pong amag.
Wala.
Pwede pa po kung walang amag.
So, parang nadismaya nga ako. Sabi ko, bakit ko inipon to na hindi pa pala pwede, dapat naghintay ako. Kasi yung in-order ko po sa Lazada, hindi pa dumating.
Opo. Kailan niyo po in-order? Taga saan po kayo?
Taga Talisay City, Negros Occidental po.
Okay. I-check ko po, sir, tatrack ko. Sana umabot kayo sa Sabado.
Sa Lazada po yun, ma'am.
Okay. Sige po. I-check ko po mamaya.
Oo.
Yung yung hindi siya opaque po, no? Takpan na lang po siya ng papel o kaya ng tela kapag sinustore po siya kapag gagamitin na po siya pang stage 1.
Oo. So, okay pa yun gamitin?
Pero kapag, basta tatakpan
amag
lang po siya at saka pag wala pong amag.
Walang amag?
Opo.
Ang tuwad yan, sir, kababayan, kasi manwa, yung nilagay mo sa, gusto mo mag-Ilonggo tayo, hiligay nun. Yung nilagay nyo po sa may tab, sa may ref, you have to send the pictures for Janina to assess.
Pwede rin. Saan ko pa padala?
Sa group chat po natin. Tanawon niya na kung pwede pa na gamiton. Mag-intipon. Okay?
Hindi ko kabalo kung hindi ko makadto sa chat Brats 24.
We will guide you. Okay.
Sige
Wala
po.
ka ba siya sa Bats 24?
Oo.
Okay. And then, si Janina ang magsasabi sa iyo ng go signal kung pwede pa o hindi. Nagawa na namin yan sa ibang mga challengers. So, don't worry. Ang ma-advise ko naman sa iyo is, 'Di ba yung pinaglagyan mo ngayon, medyo semi-transparent. Pero
Opo.
kung makakuha ka pa ng mga opaque tabs para ilipat mo, isilo mo yung mga inipon mo,
Oo.
paglalagyan mo na ng brand, pag sa labas na siya ng ref. Okay?
Sige, sige,
Yes.
sige.
So yung sa ref, okay lang yun na transparent siya. Pero pag sa labas na siya, lalagyan mo na siya ng ipahahaluan mo na siya. Sana makakuha ka ng mga ice cream tubs o kaya biscuits container na hindi siya transparent, yung opaque nga. Ayan, Imway-san. Sabi nga ng isa naming challenger, ayaw na nila ng fita. Gusto ng mga anak niya ice cream.
Mayroon akong na-acquire sa bakery, yung malaking parang balde na may takip na sealed na yung anong ginagamit nila yun, mga lard.
Mantika.
Lalagyan ng lard. I was able to
Dako
acquire.
man na to sobra-sobra.
Oo,
Hindi
na
yung idea. Gagmay lang. Yung mga 1.3 liters, half gallon, up to 1 gallon lang po ang collection tabs na inire-recommend namin para i-gather po natin. Kasi kung makagather na ho pa kayo ng mga 4 tabs na half liters, half gallon, o kaya 5 gallon, 1 gallon, mga 2 gallons or 3 gallons na tab, ililipat na kasi yan sa balde.
Oo.
Gag-guide po kayo, sir. Si Janina, ifo-focus kayo muna dyan sa gusto nyong nanghihinayang kayo na naipon nyo sa ref. Hayaan nyo lang sa ref. On my side, kung ngayon pa, hindi pa dumadating sa Shopee, i-freezer nyo po muna. That works with Ella. Okay.
Freezer.
Freezer na lang po muna kung may space pa muna kayo. Then, so, and Janina will guide you all through the way para hindi mo masasayang yung effort ninyo pag-ipon. Yun lang po.
Pwede niyo i-guide kung saan ko yung ipapadala yung picture?
Yes po, sir. Later.
Sige po. Salamat po, Miss Nenta.
Don't worry po. Andito lang kami. We'll catch you if you fall.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Miss Dorcas Flavier.
Ay, hello po.
Oh.
Medyo hindi pa kasi nagsisink in, no? Na-digest ko yung
daming nasabi, no?
Opo, so maganda naman. Madami actually nagtanong. So, actually yung mga tanong ko din natanong na rin nila. And, ayun, kailangan pala i-ref.
Ay, hindi naman, actually. Kung may Bokashi ipa ka na, you don't need to put it in the ref.
Hindi pa po kasi hindi ko pa din nakuha yung sa akin. Sa Saturday pa lang po darating.
Okay, oo.
So, ayun, i-share ko lang po, no, kasi actually, kasi ako ng parang market. So, madami kaming vegetables and fruits, especially like yung sa cabbage. Hindi man kasi yan dumarating sa akin ng balat na. So, yung mga balat, is scrap actually namin. So, actually, feeling ko nga, ang tanong ko nga kay Ma'am Ninfa kasi sa kanya ko kinurse through yung kit na binili ko kasi siya pinakamalapit. Sometimes kasi since meron po akong ganung business, mas madami dun sa tab yung nakukuha kong veggie scrap. So, ang tanong ko nga sa kanya is kung pwede ba na minsan, I think may time na kasing laki na nung bucket yung scraps ko.
Diretso na pag ganun.
Diretso na po. Ang ginagawa ko po, actually ako rin po kasi, minsan may food orders sa amin. So, may mga araw na talagang more than 5 liters ang na iipon naming waste. So kapag ganun, ginagawa ko po isang planggana, yun po yung hinahaluan ko ng bokashi ipa tsaka yung food waste. So, ginagamit ko pa nga paminsan sandok. Minsan hindi mainit na kawali. Minsan yun din yung ginagamitan ko.
Okay po. So, pwede naman pala na madami.
Oo.
Okay.
Okay, kasi yung reason po kung bakit nilalagay namin sa tubs, kasi para maiwasan yung araw-araw na pagbukas ng bucket. Kasi 'di ba, anaerobic fermentation 'to, hindi siya pwedeng mapasukan ng hangin eh. Kaya yun po yung rason kung bakit nasa maliliit na tubs siya for for small scale na household level lang na mga less than 3, mga 3 or less than na tao sa loob ng bahay, gano'n. So, yun po yung reason. Aside from that, dun din natin makikita kung ano siya, kung effective yung pagbukashi natin dun sa food waste. Kaya nasa tubs. Ngayon, yung sa mga large scale po, yun, ganun yung yung ginagawa namin na sa malaking bowl kami naghahalo o kaya planggana.
Okay po. Then, yung question po kasi kanina regarding cabbage na may molasses. So, ika-categorize naman po later on kung ano po yung mga vegetables na ipalang vegetables na may molasses at ganun.
Basically, any vegetable na nasa cabbage family, dapat may either may kasama siyang fruit or molasses. Halimbawa, may cabbage ka pero meron ka ring pineapple sa iisang bucket or isang tub, okay na yun kahit walang molasses. Pero pag wala, lagyan mo siya ng molasses.
Alright po. Alright po, mukha naman pong random combined yung sa akin.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dorcas.
Thank you po.
Tinitingnan ko sino susunod. Si Jay yata ulit. Kung may tanong pa siya. Hi, Jay. You have additional questions pa?
No, actually, this is my husband. We're doing it together. Actually, it has been answered.
It's a team,
It has been answered. With the cabbage, yeah. Well, we include our boys. We have 3 boys, so they're also doing the slicing, the making it smaller and everything.
Scissors.
Good. Yeah. So family affair.
Whole family.
Yeah.
You add lang the ipa after it's full.
Or do you have like a lasagna version?
Yeah, lasagna version.
Yes.
Actually, I add
Mixing or lasagna version.
Also, even with the small tub, wala pa kami sa bucket.
Wala pa tayo sa bucket. Wala pa yung space na yun. Okay, sige. Okay. We'll mix more then. All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Hello?
Do you still have questions, Sophie?
Yes, I have just one question. Kasi I mentioned nga before na I already collected yesterday. But in my case, dumating na sa akin yung ipa ko and my molasses. So in that case, do I need to refrigerate it or can I already start putting some ipa and molasses?
Ideally, sabay-sabay po sana tayo for Saturday.
Okay, no problem.
For your molasses and the bokashi ipa, please keep them in a cool and dark place as well.
Okay, got it. I'll keep it in the ref na lang muna. Thank you.
Sophie, kasi bumili yan, actually more than 1 week and a half na yan. Siya nag-aantay.
Okay.
So I can sense the excitement.
Yes.
Sophie, Janina will address you in private.
Okay.
Tsaka no need to refrigerate the ipa.
Yes,
Pwede po siya sa room temp.
Alright.
Thanks, Sophie, for your patience. Talaga naman.
Thank you.
Nag-antay siya.
Si Liza po or Liza?
Wala. May tanong pa ba saan? Ayun, si Miss Liza pala. Siya yung kauna-unang sumali. Liza Catalina.
Lisa, do you have questions or clarifications? Lisa, please unmute yourself. Nawala na si Lisa. Lisa?
Wala nang tanong sa YouTube, Roy.
Lana.
Tsaka ayan, nag-unmute na po.
Medyo pangit yung line namin, sorry.
Oh, no, I see.
Oo, pangit po kasi yung line namin ngayon, pero medyo nagka-catch up po kasi ako gawa ng pangit nga po yung reception. Medyo pa-stop. So, siguro po, by Saturday na lang po ako magtatanong kung meron man akong mga
Okay.
Nasa group chat na po kayo?
Yes, she is.
Okay, sige.
Add ko lang po dun sa mga papers. You can collect as lahat po ng almost lahat ng alam yung papers except ito lang po yung dalawang exemptions natin. Thermal paper and yung glossy magazine papers. Okay? Kasi po yung sa thermal paper, there's still some bad chemicals that are being used on the thermal paper. Hindi naman po affected tayo nun masyado. It's okay. Pero ayun lang po namin madumami yung inyong chemicals na dumadagdag. And sa glossy papers naman po from magazines, it is very, very, very hard to be decomposed. Okay, may experiment po ako niyan hanggang ngayon hindi pa po nalulusaw. So yun lang po yung dalawang type ng paper na hindi po natin pwedeng gamitin on our Bokashi.
Thanks, Je.
Meron pa isang question. Kasi
Hello po.
medyo, yung bucket na in-order ko sa inyo, medyo, parang tingin ko maliit, parang good for 1 week ko lang na, wala akong pang replacement. Pwede ko ba yung susunod ko, idiretso ko na lang sa soil? Malaki yung backyard ko eh. Pwede ba yun? Tapos, after 2 weeks ko na lang uli start yung compost ko. Kapag na-transfer ko na uli yung nasa bucket ko.
Bali mag-i-stop po kayo. Mag-i-stop. Mag-collect.
Kasi,
gusto niya daw po ata mag-restart. Mag-restart po kayo.
One bucket lang.
Nakabili ako ng bucket dati kasi nung iniintay ko yung sagot, di ko nakita yung sagot nung sa inyo. May na-order akong iba. Pero napakaliit pala niya. Kaya nung binuksan ko, may sagot pala sa akin. Kaya lang late ko na nabuksan. Kaya nakapag-start na ako ng 1 week. Pero yung o-order ako sa inyo ng bucket, parang siguro good for 1 week ko lang yun eh. Di syempre, after 2 weeks pa, bali 3 weeks ang aabutin ko. If yung another kong mga consumption, di ko alam kung saan ko siya ilalagay. Pwede ko ba siyang idiretso muna sa soil?
Di na po Bokashi yun pag ano. Hindi na siya Bokashi method. Oo.
Kasi kung hindi ko paggagamitin yung juice, kasi interested din ako dun sa juice para pang spray dun sa mga plants ko. Pang-dig, oo.
Sa totoo lang, technically pwede po. Pero hindi na siya Bokashi.
Pero pwede naman siya na ilagay kasi syempre matagal ako maghihintay eh.
As of now, ilan na po yung starter kit mo on hand?
Isa pa lang yon. Tapos yung order ko ngayon sa inyo, tomorrow siguro darating. Dapat kasi ngayon nakalagay doon delivery na eh.
Okay.
Oo, tomorrow siguro nandito na siya. Yun yun.
Time naman yung darating yung mo by Saturday.
Oo,
so, ilang bucket po yung order ninyo, yung next order nyo? 1 or 2?
1 lang. Kasi may isa na akong bucket dito
okay.
sa bahay.
So, medyo challenge to Janina ha?
Oo. Tingin ko 1 week ko lang yung mga food waste ko eh.
Let's see po, ma'am. I-audit po natin kasi we also have a lot of participants who say that. But since we compress it, talagang sinisiksik natin sa tabs, tapos sisiksikin din natin sa balde, usually nagkakasya. Usually, let's see after a week kung hindi talaga kasya.
Sige po. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay,
so, guys, for those na hindi pa nagsasign up for live mentoring, nakita nyo, full participation lahat ng mentors namin. Ganyan po ka-dedicated at ganyan ang energy level ng lahat ng yan. So, if I were you, sign up na ako.
Okay, guys.
At least 100. Yun. Kaya, join us.
Okay, 5 na.
Sige, thank you. Thank you everyone for
joining.
Guys.
Thank you. Looking forward to meet all of you.
Okay, paalam na tayo.
Thank you.
Sir, we will message you privately how to gonna do it. Paano kayo maisali sa group chat. Do not worry.
Salamat pa.
Okay.
Thank you po. Save the environment 1 bucket at a time. Yes, Janina, back to you.
For those who are watching from YouTube, please subscribe and like. Thank you.
Yes. You know. Bye-bye.
Bye.